Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Private Practice with Soul podcast. This is the first podcast for counselors that just don't align with the traditional approaches to business and that want to use their spiritual gifts, talents, and interests to create, you guessed it, a private practice with soul. So, look, leave it to me to provide you with everything you need, including strategies that you can use to increase your income, reduce your workload, and of course, increase inquiries and referrals to your beautiful soul-led private practice. I love it so much. If you haven't done it already, grab your journal, grab your pen, and let's begin. Welcome to another episode of the podcast, and thank you so much for pushing play on another episode. You can hear how happy I am. I'll tell you why. I have just gone and booked April's accommodation. So you know how I go away in the last week of each quarter? I thought I'd get a jump on it this year. I really wanted to be away at this beautiful place. I've been wanting to stay out for a while now in Daylesford. So I've booked that for the last week in April. I'm so excited. So I'm going to be there the last week of January and now the last week of April. Anyway, so it just feels so good. And I've taken down my vision board because I want to do another one, and I just think it's so much fun doing it. But guess what? I ran out of ink because I've been printing off, planners and all of this sort of stuff. So I have to go to Officeworks and get some more ink, and then I'll be able to print things, cut things out, make a lovely vision board for myself, because for me, they do work. I really believe that the more I see things on my vision board, the more I bring them into my reality. But anyway, what I want to do today is talk with you about our mindset when it comes to running a private practice, especially around the holidays, because I know that there are some of us that are thinking, oh, what's the point? It's coming up to Christmas and it's going to be a quiet period. And this is the time when, you just don't get clients. Everybody's away for Christmas or everybody's spending time with their family for Christmas, and all businesses close. I think, there's probably kernels of truth in that, but it doesn't have to be your truth. And the reason I know this is because I made a decision a long time ago for it not to be mine, and so it never really was. I want to help those of you who would like to be working. So those who are going to take, of course, the standard break. But if you would like to be working around that, leading up to Christmas and, shortly after the new year and into January, I want to be able to help you as best as I can with this episode today to be able to do that. And I was sitting here before and I was thinking, what's the most important thing that I could share with everybody that would really help them get some clients and get some bookings if they want them over the holidays, over the summer holidays here in Australia. And the thing that I thought, because I started going back through my groups and I was looking at all the comments and questions and even ones from last year around Christmas, and not only Christmas, actually, it comes up with Easter as well, because I don't know about everywhere else in the world, but I know for me, I've got nearly all of April off. I batched my holidays. So if you want to learn how to batch your holidays, jump into the Counsellors Connect Australia group, because I put a post in there that will show you how to allow yourself to, if you're working for somebody else, so if you're in paid employment, for example, I showed you how you can batch your holidays so that you can actually have stretches of breaks of 9 and 10 days. 3 or 4 times next year without it costing you anything. So there's something to be said for batching your holidays. I'm all about it. So if you can give yourself a 9 or 10 day break in a row, why not? I think go for it. Follow all your policies with your organization. If you're working for yourself and maybe you're a solo private practice or something like that, of course you can still do this. You just need to set up your business to be able to make it happen. And as you learned in the last 2 podcasts, I did that with recurring revenue into my business every single month. But It's not what I want to talk with you about today, because there's a definite theme that I noticed emerging. And the way I noticed it was by what I observed happening in my body when I was reading some of the comments. So yeah, some of the comments were just like nothing bad or anything like that. It was just interesting to see people saying, oh, I know it's going to be quiet. Oh, no, I'm not going to have any clients. Or yeah, everybody goes away. Or do you know what I mean? It was just like really, it was, for me, it felt low, yeah, it kind of made me feel like, like this is heavy. This is hard. This is, and then part of me was thinking, well, it doesn't have to be like this. And how can I help them see that they have choices, there are options here if they want to be working, right? So, of course, this isn't going to apply to everybody. This is just for if you do want to be working over the break. So the thing that I noticed was language, right? And the thing about language is words have a vibration. They absolutely have a vibration. And do you know what? When I was traveling all over the world, I saw this in so many different cultures. The belief is the same. It's called different things in different parts of the world, but it's definitely there. And even going right back to Kabbalah texts, and Hermetic texts, you can read so many wonderful resources on them. But, there's so much documentation that talks about the vibration of words. And it's said that, thoughts create feelings, and thoughts have a vibe. They have a vibration. And, the other thing too is that when we say things, whether we type them into a text or an email, or we're typing them into a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group, or whether or not we're discussing things, the more we say things to ourselves and the more we say things out loud and the more we see things, especially if we're visual learners, the more we take them to be true. Because what happens is for us to believe things are true, usually what happens is we need to expose ourselves to those thoughts repeatedly for them to, that's why we say sink in, right? That they need to sink in, and that happens through repetition. It's why, showing my age definitely now, but when I was growing up, we had to stand beside our desks. We had these wooden desks with inkwells in them. We weren't using ink, they were just old desks. And we had to stand beside our desks and we had to recite times tables every morning just by rote. We had to go, 4 4s are 16, 5 4s are 20, 6 4s are 24. And right, it would have like this lilting and it was sing-songy, and we had to do this every day through primary school, all the times tables and things like that. And that was how we learned back then. And part of rote and part of that repetition is that it sinks in, right? To this day, I've never forgotten my times tables. And I'm sure perhaps some of you have had similar experiences, but I just want to highlight how it works. So think about how it's working every time you utter or you quickly write something if you're a visual learner, or, you quickly say something if you're more sort of audio. Is that right? Audio? Oral learner. That things sink in with that, repeated verse, that repeated line, that repeated suggestion. And that's the other thing too. Suggestions really do sink into your subconscious mind. So even when you might have a belief or a thought that you can't get, or it's not possible, or all practices are quiet over Christmas, as we all know, if you say things like that to yourself often enough, you're going to believe it, and then that's going to become your reality, because it cannot not become your reality. Why? Because whatever you're putting your attention onto, you see more of, because whatever you focus on will grow. Whatever you focus on will expand. That's why I say track your receipts, track your sales. You will see more sales, you will see more receipts the more you track. It can't not happen. It's a universal law. It's going to increase, okay? And that's how I increase. So it's part of the strategy I use to increase my turnover this year, to increase my abundance, to increase my clients, my numbers in my groups, all of those sorts of things, right? And you can do it too. But it all begins with being aware of what you're saying to yourself. And so I think we touched on this last time when we we're talking about money, but the process is the same. I want you to really be mindful, really aware, tuned in to the things that you're saying to yourself and to others about, quiet periods in private practice, because, hey, do you know what? They there doesn't need to be a quiet period in your private practice at all. You get to choose when you're going to be busy, and you get to choose when you're going to take breaks, right? That's totally your call. And that's fine, because when you make those decisions, you're leading the business. What we don't want to happen is you to be led by the business and for you to be led by the market, and by you allowing yourself to say things like, oh, it's quiet, everyone's gone away, and therefore poor me, victim, victim, victim. We don't want to do that, right? That's a problem, because now you're allowing the business to make decisions for you, and that's not what running a business is all about. So some suggestions would be, do make a note to yourself of the things that you say, hear, become aware of, pick up on, that you're thinking, feeling around quiet periods in private practice. And I want you to really tune into, am I in charge of this, or is the business in charge of me and I'm just, allowing myself to be led by external factors, right? So in psychology, we call this locus of control. It's where is the sense of control located? Is it within you? Are you saying I'm in charge, I'm choosing the busy and the quiet times? Or is it an external locus of control where you're saying, I'm at the mercy of what's happening? In other approaches, we would say you're living at cause or effect, right? So when you're internally guided, you're living at cause, you're making the decisions, you're making the choices. When you're living at effect, you're living in that victim mentality, that victim mindset of poor me, this is horrible, what will I do? Nothing's going right in my business. It's crickets now, there are no clients. Okay, so that's the difference. So it doesn't matter what your background is. We all talk about the same thing happening. We just use different language. Okay, so once you've identified if you're living at cause or effect, or from an internal place or an external place, that's the first thing. From there, let's start looking at, okay, what can we do differently to change that for you? And so one of the things that I really, 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 really love, because they do work when you write them the right way, is creating a statement that affirms a new direction that you want to take, right? So I'm not talking about necessarily an affirmation, because I don't want you to think that I want you to go and buy Louise Hay's cards on affirmations and because then you'll just come back and you'll say they didn't work for me. No offense to Louise Hay's, but what I'm saying is that you need to be able to write your own affirming statement about where you are in your life, in your practice right now, because that will be more powerful and more effective than picking up a card from a newsagent or from the bookstore that somebody else has written, right, for the general public. You're not the general public. So you write a self-affirming statement using a process word or using a joining word, a journey word. So it'll be something like, every day I'm getting better at seeing the opportunities around me, right? If you said that to yourself every day and you took action on that, guess what? Things would change for you in your private practice. If you said, every day I'm getting better at managing my vibe, guess what would happen? And you took action on that, amazing things will be transpiring in your private practice. If you said, every day I know I'm reaching more people with my message, and every day I know that I'm attracting the right people to me. I know and I trust that my tribe of perfect for my practice clients is coming. If you said that and you believed it and you took action on that, guess what would happen in your private practice? It wouldn't even take 30 days. I reckon it'd probably take 21 days of you doing this seriously, writing that affirming statement and then taking action on it. So what would be the aligned action? And take that action every single day with this affirming statement. You can turn your practice around. I promise you can turn your practice around. And do you know what? It's only, what's the 13th of December today. So tomorrow when you're hearing this will be the 14th of December. You've still got a good week. And I believe, hand on heart, that if you wanted to get a new client in this week, you could, just by writing that new self-affirming statement and taking an action on it every single day. But do you know what? For every 100 people that listen to this podcast, maybe 5 will actually take the advice and implement it. So you get to choose, right? Are you going to implement the advice or no? And do you know what? It's fine either way. If you want to implement it, amazing. I'll support you every step of the way. I'll cheer you on. I'll be your biggest cheerleader because I want you to have peace of mind over the holiday period. I want you to be focusing on receiving. I want you to experience receiving. I want you to experience that flush of positivity and bliss and joy. I want you to have all of those things. I want you to have bounce in your step. I want those things for you. If you're not going to take action and everything, that's totally fine too. Maybe you just need to have a rest, and that's totally fine. Maybe you just download this episode and you use it for the upcoming Easter break or something, April. Anyway, so I have written a few affirming statements for inspiration to help you understand what might work. So you can take these if you like, or you can write your own. So one of the ones that I said was, instead of saying that the holidays are going to be a quiet period for all of us in private practice, try saying, I'm ready to receive new clients and more bookings. I'm ready to receive new clients and more bookings. And just think, how does that feel to say that? I'm ready to receive. I'm ready. I'm here, universe. Send it to me. Like, I am ready. Thank you for lining up these perfect for my practice clients who are all going to be knocking on my door soon, wanting appointments. Thank you so much for that. I'm ready to receive these new clients and to receive more bookings. So once you've written out that statement, create an action step from that. So what action would you need to do to show yourself that you're ready to receive new clients and more bookings? Would it be opening up space in your diary? Would it be having gratitude for knowing that the clients are already there? What else would you need to do, or could you do, that would show yourself and the universe that you're ready to receive new bookings? Okay. The next one was, I know that when I take action and believe in the outcome, that anything is possible. I know that when I take action and believe in the outcome, that anything is possible. So when you think about that and you say that to yourself, how does that feel? Right? I know that when I take action and I believe in the outcome, that anything is possible. Now, what would you have to do, right? What would the action be then? The aligned action that shows that when you take action and believe in the outcome, that things are possible for you in your private practice. So what would that look like? So let's say that you're going to want to take an action and you want to believe in that action. The first thing is to think, well, what do I want to do? And do I believe that this thing I'm about to do will actually get me the outcome that I want? The third one is, I'm right where I need to be and trust that my perfect for my practice clients are on their way to me. I'm right where I need to be, and I trust that my perfect for my practice clients are on their way to me. Right? Feels good, yeah? So what action could you take that would show yourself and show the universe that you trust that your clients are there and that they're on their way to you? The next one, I've laid the foundations for a profitable holiday season. I'm excited to receive. I have laid the foundations for a profitable holiday season and I'm excited to receive. How does that feel when you say that out loud? Or how does that feel when you think that? It's true, right? Think about all the things you've been doing this year, right? You've planted so many seeds and it's time for those seeds now to start coming into fruition, right? So have a think about what action would you need to take to show yourself and to show the universe that, yeah, you have laid the foundations for a profitable holiday season. So think about what you've already done. Did you send out some Christmas social media posts? Oh, speaking of which, if you are in the private practice with soul inner circle, I have just gifted you 30 Christmas templates that you can use to promote your practice over the Christmas period. So you can absolutely start using these right now to attract inquiries and get that diary filled. If you're not in the inner circle, you can grab them from my Etsy store. You just go to heytherapist, all as one word, .etsy.com. The next one is, I know that what is desired by me in private practice is destined for me, and I desire new clients. I know that what is desired by me in private practice is destined for me, and I desire new clients. So think about what's the action you would need to take to show yourself and the universe that new clients are destined for your private practice. The next one is, I know my vibe attracts my tribe and I tend to my vibe each day. I know my vibe attracts my tribe and I tend to my vibe each day. So what action would you need to take that shows yourself and the universe that you're looking after your vibe? Would you do things like hold off on posting when you're not in the mood and maybe just for the next little while only post when you're feeling it? You know what I mean? So think about the things that you could do. So just to recap, your language creates your reality, and when you raise your awareness around your beliefs, thoughts, and language that could be blocking you from receiving in your private practice, you open up doorways to receiving, and that changing your language requires awareness and attention and discipline. This is not going to happen overnight, right? We develop these language habits, these sayings, these beliefs, these thoughts over time. So you're not going to drop them with one day of an affirming statement. That's not going to happen. Like anything, it takes time to become proficient and for it to be your new identity, and with that create your new reality. And so this is what I want you to take away. I want you to take away that getting clients over, what you might anticipate is going to be a quiet period, gets to be easier than you might be thinking. And just because some people find it a quiet period doesn't mean we all do, because that's not true. There are plenty of us that continue to work over Christmas and we don't really experience dips in our diaries. So you get to choose what you want to believe, and whatever you believe will be your reality. Okay. So I hope that this helps. If there's anything that I can do to support you in, building your diary out over the holiday period, of course, just tap me on the shoulder in one of our groups and let me know. I'm more than happy to support you with it. I just want to say, have a really, really beautiful day. And of course, just quickly before I go, I want to say the beautiful souls in the Marketing with Soul program at the moment are just doing so well. I can't wait until we're at the end of the program to see all their results, because they've just been they've only done 2 weeks. They're coming into week 3 now, and they've already been big shifts for so many of them. And it's just, it fills my heart with so much joy to see it. And I can't wait for these beautiful women to start receiving more clients into their private practice as a result of all the things that they're learning now and the dedication and commitment that they're giving this program. They're just amazing and so inspiring. And yeah, I hope that I'm lucky enough to be able to share their journeys with you down the track. But yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. I hope that you loved this episode as much as I loved putting it together for you. To get more resources to help you in your private practice, head over to Instagram. My handle is @theprivatepracticecoach. And also, if you want more inquiries and referrals for your business, let me know. I have a program called Clients on Demand that opens every quarter, and I can absolutely get you some information for that as well. You are doing an amazing job. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. Bye.